Let's do it. Welcome back to CloverTac Crew. I'm Chris, and today we're going to finally be installing the Vortex Venom red dot sight here that I have onto the Glock 17L. You guys, if you follow the channel, have seen, I'm sure, the other videos and upgrades that's been done to this. So before we get started, you'll notice that the rear sight has been removed. It's because I was running the little sight mark, cheap sight mark red dot on here, which didn't work well at all. So I obviously had removed the rear sight previously. If you don't have a tool to remove that, you can use a brass punch. Punch it from this side, punch it out the other direction very carefully, and remove that rear sight that way, especially if you don't plan on using it again. Now, as far as the base, I'm going to go with the base that they sent me for this Vortex Venom. But after comparing the base that they sent me with the base that I had purchased for the sight mark sight, they look pretty much the same. So I think that that's a universal design, it would appear. But at any rate, I'm going to go with the one that they have sent me. Now, you may also can tell I went ahead and removed the front sight as well because, well, I just wanted to do that. If I'm going to run an optic, I wanted it to be more of a blocky design on the front, just like the way it looked better, so I removed the front sight off of it. So now what we need to do is we need to get this thing ready to install everything. The way we're going to do that is we're going to remove the magazine, get that out of the way here, and we're going to make sure that the firearm is clear. It is. And from that point, it's just a matter of removing the slide. Like so. Getting the frame here out of the way. We don't need that either for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the guide rod assembly and recoil spring out of this for now, as well as the barrel. Notice that, I'm sure you've seen it from other videos, but it's a long lift barrel in there, not the stock Glock barrel. So, and now we just have the slide here. It's going to be a little easier to work with. So what you're going to need basically to do this, and it may depend on the sight that you use or the particular brand of base. Basically, you're going to need either a hex bit or a Torx. In this case, this one, that's the size this uses. Most of the bases on the sides, they'll come with the wrenches you need, and then you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver as well. And I'm going to use just some removable, some of the blue Loctite. I want something to keep the screws from backing out, but I don't want it so strong that I'm going to have a problem later on if I want to remove anything. If you take a look at this base, you'll notice that you have your base assembly here, and it's kind of, I guess, radiused would be the word or something. That way it sits on this slide fairly flush, fairly well. You know, like so here. And you'll have a little piece here, kind of see how it's dovetailed, and that's the whole purpose, is to fit in the dovetail like this right here, like so. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to basically put this in there. You will set your base then on it, and then you will put the supplied screws in. So what we want to do is we want to get this on there, get it kind of centered. Get this down here kind of out of the way. There we go. Kind of line that up a little bit. And you want to use, again, some type of a Loctite, just a little bit. It won't take much on this. Just a little bit on each screw will be plenty. And I did way too much, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with the other screw. There's one, and there is the other. And now that I've spilt all the Loctite, I'm going to wipe my hands down. So we've got the Loctite on our screws. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to tighten them down. You don't want to tighten them real super tight, at least not to start, because you want to make sure. So if you'll notice, there's a little bit of play from side to side in this. That's going to be normal. So you want to tighten them just enough that it's not too tight. You can still move this assembly back and forth. I got it a little bit too tight there still. There we go. And then I'm going to wipe down. We'll get the Loctite out of the way completely here. Well, I'll say that. We'll just put it to the side. Put it to the side, and you can remember easily that you're going to need that. I'm going to wipe the extra Loctite off here, or I put too much on it. Now what you want to do is you want to kind of eyeball this back here. You'll notice, like I said, it's got some play in it. And get that as straight as you possibly can before you tighten it down, and then just tighten her up. And that doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty centered to me. Don't know about you. Looks like that'll work. And this is just going to sit in. Notice you got 4 little riser points here, and you've got 4 holes in the base, so it'll just kind of snap down on there nice and neat. It'll just kind of sit there like so. No big deal there. And then we go to our Loctite again. Try not to get crazy insane with it like I did before. And I'm just going to hand tighten for right now. I'm going to run one side down, kind of feel it out. Still hand tight with this first, and then I'm going to kind of eyeball everything one more time. You want to make sure that you're flush on either side here. Looks like we're sitting pretty flush all the way around, so that's good. And then just eyeball it a couple of different directions here, from the front and the rear. And you're going to have a little bit of adjustment on it, obviously. So, you know, if it's not perfectly straight, not going to be the end of the world. And so I'm going to change bits now that it looks good. And finish tightening these down. And just moderately snug will work. Now, you want to pay attention, because depending on the base and the sight that you use, obviously this technique will work for several different types of sight. As you tighten down, if you get really tight, if the screws are just a little long, then you'll start getting a gap over here. So it's important that you kind of double check that just to make sure it's not the case. And that's not the case here. So we're done. We are ready to reassemble. And to reassemble, here we go. We're going to slide our barrel back in, get it in place. Next is the guide rod and spring. It rides right there. Then we are going to put our slide onto our frame or our lower and give her a couple of rackaroos there, like so. And then we can, of course, put the mag back in to finish off the awesome cool look. And there we go. We have the Vortex Venom installed on the 17L. Give you several good angles there of it. Get it up close. There you go. Vortex Venom in all of her glory. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video on how you install not just a Vortex Venom, but basically any of these little red dot reflex sights onto your Glock. Hopefully this video helps out some of you guys. And remember, until next time, don't forget to chain fire freedom. Before you leave, don't forget to stab that subscribe button. If you're curious about the live show schedule here on CloverTac, it's listed right here. And if you want to help support CloverTac, you can do that by shopping with any of the businesses over on CloverTac.com.